The soul of Swanee isn't just a feeling. It's embodied in nature. It's found in unfiltered perfection, where beauty abounds in its most simplistic form. Experience it in the abundance of towering trees and lush flora that awakens the quieted peace of your body. Touch it in the gemstone-colored springs that tingle your senses and restores vitality. Explore it in flourishing underwater caves that spark curiosity and a sense of wonder. Absorb it in the fresh air and starry nights that enlighten your mind with clarity. There's no fluff, no crowds, and no lines, just you and beautiful, unfiltered nature, with maybe a few surprises along the way. Come discover the life you never knew you were missing in Suwannee County, Florida. Learn more at www.visitswanee.com.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
All right, hey Bulldog fans, when you're hungry, we can satisfy that appetite at Beef O'Brady's of Live Oak. Come dine with us during, before, or after the ball game. We feature big screen TVs, so you won't miss any of the big events. At Beef O'Brady's, check out our game room featuring pool tables and games for the kids. Stop by Beef O'Brady's for some good food, good sports, and good games. What's a football game without pizza? Papa John's Pizza of Live Oak can take care of all of your football dining needs. Take care of your hungry crowd before, during, or after the game. Stop by Papa John's for better pizza, better wings, and many other delicious menu items for the family or the game crowd. Papa John's Pizza always has better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some.
And good evening, everybody. RiverCountrySports.com is on the air and proud to be a part of the festivities. Thanks to all of you who stopped by the booth this morning and appreciate you tuning in to tonight's live coverage of the Lighted Christmas Parade. Our parade coverage is being brought to you by the Suwannee County Economic Development Office and by First Federal Savings Bank of Florida. Our broadcast is also sponsored in part by North Florida Printing Company, J&W Automotive, Rapid Fiber Internet, Papa John's Pizza, Beef O'Brady's, and the UPS store of Live Oak. Your parade announcers tonight, I'm Wayne Litrell, joined by this handsome guy to my left, Mr. Tom Daniels. How are you this evening?
Wayne, you know, it's Christmas on the Square parade, and this is only the 40th one that I've been to.
Oh, you've been to every one.
Yes.
Okay, I can't make that claim, but I've been to most of them.
They've come a long way, baby.
And when you think about parades through the streets of Live Oak, there's the Homecoming Parade, there's the Martin Luther Parade, there's the Veterans Parade. I think you've seen all of them.
I did some calculations, and the number is over 120.
Wow.
And the good thing is I've been in two of them. I've been the Grand Marshal for Martin Luther King in the Homecoming Parade, but I would not want to be one of those guys that had to walk it.
Yeah, we did that a couple of years ago, and made it all the way from the schools, finishing at Langford Stadium. Quite the walk, and we did have the opportunity to jump on board a buggy that was our float that year, but I went ahead and walked it. I toughed it out. I don't know if I could do that anymore, but a couple of years ago it was fine.
Well, I've been doing my mile a day, so I could probably make it to here from where they start. But another thing, especially this parade, there are judges. And I've actually been a judge for this parade, so I can tell you there are no qualifications.
Okay.
But, when we first started doing this, it was like, hey, somebody make a pretty float. Then we had to go into the, commercial floats, religious floats. So now there's like, a couple of categories,
Right.
and there are people that spend a whole lot of, time, and effort doing these floats. And and like I say, I've judged this parade, I've judged homecoming parade, I've judged Martin Luther King parade, and this one's got the most.
Yeah, and this is the traditional parade. Everybody gets involved. You've got Christmas on the Square, which started as a one-day event and now 3 days. I mean, heck, started on Thursday with the lighting of the Christmas tree, and they had the fun run and the movie, and then Friday night they had the snow on the square, which I understand had a little problem this year with a water leak, but unfortunately, but still, all the vendors open, over 300 vendors, arts and crafts from all over the place. You got to give credit to the chamber; they have really made this into an annual event.
Well, every year I go looking in, just find that sand art guy,
Yeah.
that's that, and the wind chimes,
Yeah.
two of my favorite ones to go to. And it, the funnel cakes here used to be legendary.
Yeah, they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of good food down at Christmas on the Square. So if you left hungry, that was your own fault. But it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this through the years, and this lighted Christmas parade. You mentioned the work that goes into some of these floats, and hats off to the groups that dedicate themselves. Normally, in my experience, I've been a part of a couple of groups where we've come up with a float. It always comes down to one or two. Yeah, everybody volunteers in the first night, but then when it comes time to show up, I mean, it's usually one or two really dedicated people. So if you get a group with a bunch of you, you got it going.
Have you had a float that's actually made it all the way through the parade?
We have had our problems in past parades. One time with, I guess it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I worked for 98 in town. We blew a fuse and everything went kaput. And then back before that one year, we actually had a truck break down. We had an antique truck. It was John Koch's truck, matter of fact. And we ended up here in this parking lot because the truck broke down in the middle of the parade route. So I have had my share of, and then we did the parades live when I worked for WLVO years ago, right in front of the Sports Connection, matter of fact.
Well, I did a few of them there also. And, the great thing is, because it was so close and it was radio, you could just walk out there with a microphone and throw them from somebody's face, and they're,
Yeah.
which is, if you do radio, that's always great to do, when you're doing that stuff, put
Yeah.
people on the spot.
Sure.
And
We have 2 open microphones here, by the way. So if anybody can come and join. I've invited a bunch of people, and we'll see if anybody else shows up. But if not, it's just you and I.
well, we will. It's not like it's you and I for the first time. I mean,
No.
I'm happy we didn't hook up phones. We didn't have bag phones. We're not using cell phones.
Yeah,
It's this is like state of the art stuff here, Wayne. You've come a long way, baby.
no doubt about it. Now streaming, I've been through radio, and literally we had to have a phone line at one time. And then we had a local Marty, what we called it, communication device that went back and forth for local broadcasts. But some of those football games that we do, we'd have to, call ahead to whatever the phone company was in that area and get a phone line installed in the press box. But then you'd show up Friday night and it wouldn't be installed, and we'd have to scramble and try to get somebody down there. But
And that's why we would bring George Langford.
yeah, he was always, Mr. Handy,
Yeah,
Mr. Fix It.
and I can remember on 2 occasions getting to Tallahassee. One time they turned on the wrong booth, so we had to run the wire from one booth to the other. And then the other time they didn't turn this on, but there was a live line up there. And of course, it made Shannon so very happy because we had a line, we did the football game, and they didn't charge him.
Yeah.
So
I remember one time they were changing a line. This was in Tallahassee, and Shannon and I actually had to do the first half, and I can't remember if it was Rickards, Lincoln, Godby, who we were playing, but had to do the first half on a payphone up in the press box. That's how long ago that was. Yeah.
I must have been on the sideline.
You may have been, or you may have not been doing it, or didn't take that road trip. I don't remember. But I just remember us trying to get on the air, and we couldn't get that phone line installed quick enough, so we had to get on the payphone and call collect back to the station. And anyway, we always found a way to get the games on the air. And of course, this season was the first season that it was live streamed here on River Country Sports. And I sure hope folks enjoyed our broadcast. You can still go. That's the cool thing about streaming. You can still go back and rewatch those broadcasts, or if you hadn't seen them, watch them for the first time. And that's kind of cool because they're archived on the website.
Well, I know that I guess the Perry game this year, you had a wonderful guest announcer for the second half.
Yeah, That guy was good. And that's one of the games we won. And I'd like to think that you had something to do with that. Your magic rubbed off or something.
Well, Kyler asked me to stay on the sideline with him, and I said, Kyler, I'm not going to be responsible for your play calling.
Yeah.
So I went upstairs, and it was my Hall of Fame night, and it took me about an hour to get up the stairs because not only did it take me an hour to get up the stairs, but I got glad-handed the whole way. And then it was halftime, and unbeknownst to me, you go, oh, and Tom's going to stay for the second half.
Yeah.
So it was good. I had fun,
Yeah.
and it's always more fun when you win.
It was a fun night. And of course, with Andy Day, oh my, it's always fun. And hoping he would stop by here tonight. He's one of the ones that we invited, but I don't know if he's going to make his way out here or not.
I think there are still deer alive somewhere.
Yeah.
So he needs to find one to kill.
He's busy. You can understand that. Hey, I would like to thank our crew here at rivercountrysports.com. Our camera operators are Dusty Morgan, Sawyer Brooks, and Lucy Roberts, our streaming producer right behind me here. This is Rivers Martinez, and our production manager is Clifford Gwynn. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back with more of our pre-parade coverage right after this timeout. It's live Christmas on the Square, a hometown holiday tradition, and this is the 40th Lighted Christmas Parade. We'll be bringing it to you live. The parade should start at 6 o'clock, and our pre-parade coverage continues after this on rivercountrysports.com.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
The soul of Swanee isn't just a feeling. It's embodied in nature. It's found in unfiltered perfection, where beauty abounds in its most simplistic form. Experience it in the abundance of towering trees and lush flora that awakens the quieted peace of your body. Touch it in the gemstone-colored springs that tingle your senses and restores vitality. Explore it in flourishing underwater caves that spark curiosity and a sense of wonder. Absorb it in the fresh air and starry nights that enlighten your mind with clarity. There's no fluff, no crowds, and no lines, just you and beautiful, unfiltered nature, with maybe a few surprises along the way. Come discover the life you never knew you were missing in Suwannee County, Florida. Learn more at www.visitswanee.com.
Hello and welcome to North Florida Printing Company. Come inside and let us show you what we have to offer.
One-stop auto shop, J&W Automotive. At J&W, you can buy a car. They've got a great selection to choose from. At J&W, you can get your car fixed. They provide complete vehicle repair. At J&W, they do paint and body work. Yeah, plus tires, front-end alignments, AC work, computer diagnostics. They cut and program keys. They are truly your one-stop, all-in-one automotive shop. J&W Automotive. Highway 129 North in Live Oak. Online at jwautos.com. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, rivercountrysports.com, bringing you the Lighted Christmas Parade here in Live Oak, Florida, the 40th annual Christmas on the Square. We are set up in the auto parts store. This is Advanced Auto Parts behind us, and they were nice enough to lend us their parking lot. And it's kind of up on a hill, so we can look down onto 129 and see the parade as it comes by. But, Tom, you were telling me a little bit during the break about the history of not only this building, but just the surrounding area.
Yes, I've been here since 1978, and things have really, they used to be Wallace TV right over there.
Yeah, I remember that.
And behind us, there was a little duplex that was in need of repair. And there was a fellow that rented there once, and somebody had broken into his apartment. So he got a rattlesnake and tied a string around it
Really?
and tied it to his door. These things can only happen here in Live Oak. And I'm not so sure, but I think that used to be Boyette's Pecans over there. And
Where
then,
the CVS pharmacy is across the street.
yeah, and then over here was Golden Corral, where the other
Yeah, I
auto
remember
parts
that.
store
Yeah.
is.
All you
And
could eat.
yeah, well, in the beginning it wasn't all you could eat. And
I remember the buffet years.
yes, and there was no, the only parade there was homecoming parade, and the veterans parade was like not like they do today with the crosses with the I mean, like that's first class. That's really really
I was
that's
noticing now
impressive.
to the right of us was there used to be Video World for years and years, but you still on the sign it says Sports Connection.
Yeah, it's like something that'll never die. It's like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You just can't put it to sleep. I had my store when I opened Courtside Cafe. I moved Sports Connection over here for, I'm going to say like maybe 3 or 4 years. And then we closed Delana's Laundromat and moved Sports Connection over there.
Right.
And Terry runs it, and Tom is happily retired.
Yeah.
I still own the building downtown, and hopefully that'll be sold sooner than later. But
So what do you do with your days these days now that you're you don't have 14 jobs?
I try to do as least as is humanly possible. But I I run a karaoke show Friday nights at the Lake City Country Club from 7 to 10. And
Now when you say run you a karaoke show, do you sing?
yes,
Really?
yeah, I'm the guy that does the board, and they give me a turn, let me sing.
Okay. Can you sing? Do people walk out? Does the room empty when Tom sings?
No,
Okay.
they're like, oh my God.
Actually, I'm just teasing you. I've heard you're pretty good.
Yeah.
And especially with the Sinatra.
Yeah, the only problem is at my age, I have to have people my age that even know who Frank Sinatra was. I'm looking at,
But introducing the young people to that generation of music. I mean, when music was real.
I'm not thinking they're looking for that introduction.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm looking over here at Lucy and Sawyer and Dusty, and their combined age is not even near. You got to throw in the guy behind us to get to my age. So it's a young person's world.
That's why I like hanging out with you. You make me feel young.
Yeah. Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of places I go now, and I'm the oldest guy there, so it gets a little scary.
Yeah. Well, you just appreciate every day you have on this side of the dirt, and that's all you can do. Just keep moving forward.
Well, when people say I'm happy to see you, and I tell them better to be seen than viewed.
That's right. That's right. But through the years, and folks, we appreciate you having listened to our broadcasts through the years. We've done Swanee Sports, football, which obviously we've done football, but also baseball. We've done a lot of baseball games, and we've done basketball. You've done golf. I think you've done wrestling, soccer. Yeah. I stop at the big three: football, baseball, basketball.
Well,
after that, it gets a little bit beyond me.
Well, one of the great things about radio as opposed to this live streaming stuff, you can lie because nobody can see it.
Okay.
And I mean, you did baseball games for me. There was one sign in the right center field that said Sports Connection, and there was not a home run or a wall that was a ball hit against the wall. It did not hit the Sports Connection sign.
There were times a foul ball would go over the Sports Connection sign. And, at first I was wondering, how does he, and then I figured it out. It's just free advertising because we never paid you.
No.
All these years of broadcasting. So at least we can do is let you have your plugs.
And another one, I don't know if you were the guy that did you used to hit your chest and make the helicopter sound?
I have been known to do that.
Yeah. And people really thought that we had a helicopter at the baseball games. And, and people came, I didn't know they had a helicopter. I said, well, we do the local traffic. And back then, the local traffic was, there was no local traffic.
Yeah. But it was theater of the mind.
Oh, yes.
And I'm still doing that. We're still, I do morning radio with Kick and Kevin.
I did a show with you.
Yes, you did. Yeah. WJHC 107.5 and talk1075.com. And also on the Facebook, radiozoo.net. Just to shamelessly cross-plug there. My two businesses. But we still have fun every morning.
Well, that's the thing about this live streaming. we can't lie so much.
Yeah, no, now there are pictures, so you have to have proof. But right now the cameras are just on us. So the things we are describing is, like radio, because the camera's not, panning out and watching all this stuff.
Oh, well, then we can have a hell of a parade.
So we can, yeah. Now, when the parade starts, the cameras are going to turn the other way and actually show the parade. And for those of you who don't know, the parade starts at the elementary school. That's where they're lining up now. And then, so the parade will start. It will come down 129. And normally it goes to 90, where it turns left and then ends up at Houston and the football stadium. But this year, they're going to avoid that intersection because of the water break. So they're going to turn, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong on my names, but Warren Street, I believe it is, to Pine, and then back up to 90, and then the route will continue.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's true.
Obviously Warren, that's the street that, for people who have been here forever and don't know street names, that's the street where the jail was originally and the library was originally.
Okay.
Chicken Scott Drugs was originally, and Fleets and all that. That was their back door.
Yeah.
But to go there and then you're going to turn left on Pine, that's like real quick.
Well, you're going to turn, so you turn right on Pine and then go back to 90,
okay.
Then to Houston and finish the regular route, finishing at the football stadium.
Well, I watched them make the snow the other day. I was down on the corner there at Helvenston's, and it's the same process that they use for making snow when you go to ski resorts and they don't have snow.
Really?
And what you do here, it's funny because they're taking bag ice and throwing it in a machine, where if you're somewhere else, it's like they got blocks of ice
powder
that they're throwing in.
Okay.
And they even have frozen snow that they're throwing in.
Huh.
But here it was like they're opening the bags of ice cubes and, emptying them in the machine, and they're just, now that, they should have done that with an audience, because that was very, very educational and interesting. And I've seen enough snow in my life that.
Yeah. You want to keep it on the square. That's good. That's a good place for it. But now you were here, I guess it was 1989, the last time we had snow in Live Oak. And that was, folks here didn't know how to drive in it. I mean, it was a mess. And I think before that, 73, it snowed, I believe. If I have my years right.
Well, I don't know that your years are right, but I remember, and I had to go to Gainesville and get some, before I had an embroidery machine, get some embroidery for Lisa. Back then she was Lisa Dilworth, and she had gotten something for her dad and had to go down and get it for Christmas. And it, like you said, it was like 1 inch of snow, and it was like we had a blizzard.
Yeah. Well, you would think that.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're not used to it. I've grown up in the South, and I've never been in actual snow. I've, seen dustings, but not, accumulation enough to build a snowman. And I'm past 60, and I don't really think that I miss it.
No, you just listen to the stories and watch it on TV.
Yeah.
It's
good.
that'll work for you.
Yeah.
No, I have no desire to. That's why you live in Florida.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it has been cool, but it is December, so it's supposed to be cool.
And I was back in New Jersey just recently in October, November, and my friends are like, well, the hurricane. I said, you know what? I'll trade you a hurricane for all the snow. Okay?
Yeah. Well, personally, I've had enough of the hurricanes over the last couple of years. Started with Idalia, and then we had Debbie, and then we had Helene, and I've had quite a bit of damage. Nothing to the house. I mean, before, just trees and the mess everybody's having to deal with, and I'm about tired of it. So they can just go someplace else.
And then you had the college football playoffs, where they had enough of the hurricanes.
Yeah, you would have to cross-reference that. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Well, you're on TV. You have your Miami.
Yes, because I'm cold.
Yeah, well, and you don't have any other ones, right? Like all your other clothes are dirty, so you had to put on your Miami Hurricane one.
I don't put that much thought into it. This was the jacket I grabbed, and there you go.
Matches your hat.
I got 3 layers.
Does it match your hat?
Oh, I have a River Country hat.
Oh, okay. All right.
See?
All right. Okay. I thought you had a Miami hat also. But,
I do have Miami hats. I just didn't wear that.
Yeah. And, we talk about Miami and, Florida State had a horrible year, and the Gators came back one year in this parade. I think it was this one. It was either this one or Homecoming. We had the FAMU band,
Okay.
and I sold them 100 pairs of white batting gloves, and
Oh,
they all wore gloves in the
okay.
parade, and that was pretty neat. And
Well, the Rattler band they're second to none.
yeah,
And, I've seen them a couple of times, but one particular, they were at Miami, and this is the old Orange Bowl. And I mean, they stole the entire show. People went just to see them because the game was out of hand. But hey, you got the band. Are you kidding me? The Marching 100? I mean, those guys are fantastic. I didn't know that they had marched in this parade.
it was either this or Homecoming. Somebody, was an alumni, was going to school there or something, and it's
Okay.
like, we got this to go, and that was great. And I don't know, I can't remember. Did we have the little Shriner cars last year going around?
Usually we do. Yeah.
Because here they usually drive by, but when they get in front of the courthouse, they try to kill each other and,
Yeah.
and anybody crossing the street. And that's been a tradition here
Yeah.
forever.
I know one year, Kicking Kevin, he said, I'm going to get something to ride. Now, I'm not thinking anything of it. And then come day of the parade, he says, here, you know how to drive a four-wheeler, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. So we took off and down the road we go, no practice or anything. And of course, he's doing wheelies and all this crazy stuff. And I'm just driving, did a few circles.
And
But,
I'm
good
not
time.
sure what we're going to have this year, but there have been other years, and especially not that we're city boys, but we're not country boys. Those big, gigantic combines,
Yeah.
and I mean, they're very, very impressive.
Yeah. And the only thing, with the parade, you don't want to be behind the horses.
That's why they go last.
Yeah. If you are behind the horses, make sure you have your pooper scooper with you. Keep the streets clean.
And that's when you see the horses, that's the end of the parade.
Yeah, that's right. And the fire engines will be the beginning of the parade, and then the horses at the end, and then in between everything else. So it should be an exciting parade. At Live Oak, one of the best parades around. And every town has one. Lake City's got their parade, and Brantford's got their parade, and Jasper will have. Matter of fact, they've got Sweets in the Streets coming up next Saturday, and they'll have their parade. I think White Springs was last night. So, but Live Oak, one of the biggest in the area, and associated with Christmas on the Square and the Chamber, and it's a great parade, good times, good family fun.
Well, and I'm not sure they could have one without me because I've never missed one.
Well, good. We want you here next year as well. So
I would like to be here next year too. But like I said, when this first started, Christmas on the Square, across the street from my store, and most of the stuff in the beginning was handcrafted stuff. People that,
Mhm.
that were craftier than you and me, made all sorts of, you know, Christmas pop guns and Christmas trees and ornaments and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got a little more commercial, and now it's kind of like a mixture of everything. And the food is really taken off. I mean, they have that whole parking lot just dedicated to that. And, the snow's a new big deal. And
No, and fireworks. Had fireworks Friday night.
yeah. That's, that was added. So, it's a good thing when you have a community that, gets together and does something every year that, becomes a tradition. And this is one of them.
For those that don't know, the Christmas on the Square actually started on Thursday, and that was with the ribbon cutting at 5:00, followed by the tree lighting, and then they had the Jingle Bell Fun Run and Walk, and they had movies at Millennium Park, family movies, and then on Friday from 4 to 10, they closed off the streets of downtown Live Oak. They had the annual Arts and Crafts Show, over 300 vendors, food vendors, live entertainment, fireworks, Santa Land. Don't forget old Santa Claus, and he'll be in the parade, I'm thinking.
I think that I've known every Santa Claus we've had.
Well, don't let the secret. It's Santa Claus. Well, now it's not the real Saint Nick because he does have helpers. So let's keep that in mind.
And some of them that I think I've known every one of them.
And
they're basically the same guy.
and then, of course, continuing today with the festivities downtown from 8 to 4, and now the Lighted Christmas Parade tonight. But the first one, you remember when this was just a concept? And the first Christmas on the Square, who would have thought that would have become an annual tradition 40 years later?
No. And, and compliments to the chamber for, taking this thing over and carrying it on and carrying on. And for years and years, Edwin McCook was the chamber guy.
Yeah.
And his claim to fame is, I think he was here for 22 of them. It never rained.
Is that right?
It never rained.
And then
when
once he
was
left, we've had all kind of inclement weather through the years. But the crowds today were tremendous at the Christmas on the Square. I normally, in past years, just pull up to the football stadium. There was no parking at the football stadium. I mean, it was packed. The church was packed. I mean, the surrounding area. I mean, what a great crowd throughout the day. And, it was really chilly early. Clifford and the gang, they had, the booth set up downtown, and they did the cold hours, and I showed up after things thawed out at about 11:30. Instead, hung out for a little while. And hats off to Keith Hunter, man. He did a great job manning our booth, and we sure appreciate Keith. Catfish. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's, and that's a not a silent person, but like silently, he has done lots and lots. Him and Clifford Gwynn have done so much for, especially the football program, but for athletics. And, that translates into the community.
Sure.
And today they're down there, and that's a community thing. We're not throwing a ball around.
Yeah.
And it's great. And you need to give some accolades to those kind of guys. And then you got to remember when, Wayne Litrell was just a peon. Now he's like star TV and radio.
Okay. I'm the same guy. I try not. I don't even like change, so I try to be the same consistent guy from day to day. But yeah, it's much different now with the pictures. But fun time today at Christmas on the Square, and looking forward to the Lighted Christmas Parade. We got to take a timeout. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back with more pre-parade coverage. It's RiverCountrySports.com.
The soul of Swanee isn't just a feeling. It's embodied in nature. It's found in unfiltered perfection, where beauty abounds in its most simplistic form. Experience it in the abundance of towering trees and lush flora that awakens the quieted peace of your body. Touch it in the gemstone-colored springs that tingle your senses and restores vitality. Explore it in flourishing underwater caves that spark curiosity and a sense of wonder. Absorb it in the fresh air and starry nights that enlighten your mind with clarity. There's no fluff, no crowds, and no lines. Just you and beautiful, unfiltered nature, with maybe a few surprises along the way. Come discover the life you never knew you were missing in Suwannee County, Florida. Learn more at www.visitswanee.com.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
Rapid Fiber Internet's locally owned and operated, powered by Swanee Valley Electric Co-op. Our local employees are dedicated to providing a world-class customer experience to each of our Swanee Valley Electric members. Make the switch today to Rapid Fiber Internet's 100% fiber to the home internet system. To learn more about Rapid Fiber Internet, visit rapid-fiber.com. Again, that's rapid-fiber.com or call 866-64-RAPID.
Hey, Bulldogs, let the UPS Store of Live Oak handle all of your packing and shipping needs. The UPS Store of Live Oak also offers mailboxes, printing, faxing, scanning. We also offer notary services and shredding services as well. Stop by your local UPS store. There's help in here. Real help. The UPS Store, proud sponsors of Swanee Bulldog football on the riverofcountrysports.com.
And welcome back to our pre-parade coverage. We've got Jay Howell now joining us on set here at rivercountrysports.com. And how are you this evening?
Oh, doing very well. And you, gentlemen?
Well, we're fine. We're fine. But getting ready for the parade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've been sitting here watching everybody go by. Got the fire department's heading up that way. everybody's getting set up.
Yeah, it's a good crowd, and it's building as we go. When we first got here about a half hour or so ago, there were 3 or 4 people milling around, and now the streets are starting to fill up. But this will be a you know, parade. It's always a great parade, and a lot of folks that come out, bring the whole family, bring the hot chocolate, and just make it a family time. It's really, to me, it's the kickoff to the Christmas season.
Yes, sir. This would be my first year attending one.
Really?
Yeah, I've only been up here for about 5 years now.
Okay. Where'd you come from?
From down south, little Fort Pierce, little small
Okay.
town down there.
Fort Pierce, a small town?
Well,
This is a small town.
this is a small town. It's small town for down there, but yeah, they really didn't do much for a Christmas parade down there. But yeah, this will be my first time here.
Rookie of the
But,
year.
Huh?
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Well, we welcome you to God's country. Appreciate you to hanging out with us. And what brought you to Live Oak?
my parents moved up here about 30 years ago, so I've been coming around for about 30 years.
So they escaped first.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, I've been coming around for about 30 years, so I've seen Live Oak grow up.
Yeah, I grew up in West Palm, and so man, I've been up here since 1986, and lived here longer than I've lived any place else, and wouldn't want it any other way, man. I love this place.
Yeah, having moved up here now, I can't see living anywhere else.
For those who don't know, I met. We call him J Hal, not his real name, but an alias, I guess.
Yeah.
But, his stage name. But anyway, he was listening to the morning show with Kevin and myself. We would do what we call the Radio Zoo, and one of our regulars, and got to meet him at the Wellborn Festival.
Blueberry.
No, not the Blueberry Festival. They had a festival raising money for Toys for Tots.
Oh, okay.
And Anita Leonard and the Wellborn Community Association. They do tremendous works, but met there,
Yeah,
had
they
blueberry pancakes, and had Jerome Carter actually ride a camel.
Yeah,
Anyway, had a big time, and
yeah.
that's the first time I met him.
Yeah, Jerome, he had never eaten he'd never eaten a pancake for one,
That's what he said.
and definitely
You know Jerome, don't you? He of course did the
He
gospel
did
show.
Yeah, he was there when I did your
Okay.
radio show.
And he did a gospel show at WNER for years
Yep.
before moving up to Jasper. But he's a great guy.
Oh, he's a colorful fella.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. He's very colorful and entertaining, very entertaining.
Yeah.
But it was my privilege. That was my first time meeting you and Kevin and Jerome. It was a pleasure meeting you, and it was definitely my pleasure to buy him his first pancake.
And he can put it away now.
Oh, he put it down. He was not backing away. He didn't even shy away from it.
Yeah, you can't find anybody to say a bad word about Jerome.
No, sir.
He's one of those guys that's he'll bring you up if you're feeling down. He's just always in a good mood and just a very positive person.
Well, I'm just happy you didn't ask me how I got here.
Okay, well now that the can of worms have been
It's
opened, how did you get here?
Government Witness Protection Program.
Well, the cat's out of the bag now, so I hope they're not still after you.
Yeah, 1978. That's a long time. They could forget.
Yeah, they probably have let it go by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you made a name for yourself in this town. Your dad before you, and hey, if you had to pick some place in the United States to set down roots, I mean, you couldn't have picked a better spot.
I grew up 15 minutes from New York City, and
I'm
now
sorry.
I don't want to cross the Swanee River.
There you go.
I love it here.
Forget about the Mason-Dixon line. I'm staying in the boundaries of the river.
Yep.
Way down upon the Swanee.
And at the only direction I can pretty much go is east. And then I got the ocean to stop me there.
Yeah, that's true. While we were talking about football earlier and you took a shot at my Hurricanes, that's fine. I do want to congratulate Madison County. The Cowboys claimed another state championship win in the rural division with a win last night over Hawthorne.
Kudos for them.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah, you weren't shocked to hear that, huh?
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've had a dominant team year in and year out. They play down at that lower level, and they just can. Hawthorne has had a great program last couple of years, but those Cowboys, what can you say? They just keep getting it done.
Well, you and I have been doing football. We've been doing a parade for 40 years and probably been doing football for 35.
Yeah. When I started doing Swanee football, that's when they were winning state championships. And after the first 4 years, I just thought it was like that every year.
Yeah, well, that was 87 was the first championship. And I think I started doing sideline stuff maybe in 84, 85, something like that.
Yeah. But Yeah, it's been great. And back in those days, we never lost to Madison. And then Coach Pittman left, and then we never beat Madison until we finally broke the jinx a couple of years ago. But now they're back on a 2-game winning streak. So those Cowboys are tough, and we'll get another shot at them next year. So we'll see what happens then. But we do plan to bring another season of Swanee Bulldog football for the folks. And with this live streaming and now 2 cameras, and hopefully by next year, instant replay, just continuing to grow.
Well, I'm looking around at the 2 guys on either side of me, and I think one of the things you should make a priority for is makeup. If we're going to be on TV,
Yeah, we didn't get hair and makeup.
we need a makeup guy.
No, we're just as is. When it gets that big, I'm not going to be on camera. I think I'll be on the other side of the camera. They start having you have to go through makeup.
Well, I heard you gentlemen talk about it, before, doing play-by-play on radio, and it was just radio. And now seeing the setup y'all have here with the cameras and I mean, it's amazing to me. Everything's done digital, and I mean, how everything's come along.
And they were live this morning on our Facebook page, and now live streaming on YouTube. But it's been
actually
it's been incredible.
Because both of us did radio for years and years, I heard from so many people this year how much they like this, and people that I didn't even think they know how to turn on a computer. And it's like, oh, we watched that live stream. That was really good. That's better than radio.
The nice thing is you have it on your phone, so it's portable. You can take it with you. You can Bluetooth it to your speakers. You can plug it into your phone if that's what you want to do.
It's on your phone. I have a flip phone.
But, I'm sorry, Tom. I try to help you the best I can. But it's on YouTube television. I mean, you can watch it at home on the big screen if you want to. So there are a lot of options there. And as people found out about it, now we tried to negotiate with the radio station to keep things going with the radio, and they just decided not to be local any longer. And so that's their choice. But we feel like, this is expanded. And the cool thing is it's now captured, so you can go back. Like if somebody played in the game Friday night, one of the Bulldogs could go back Saturday and watch it with grandma or something like that. I mean, it really has expanded possibilities.
And, today you're doing a parade, and, this morning you were doing Christmas on the Square. So tell us a little bit about the future. I mean, there's got to be more than football and parades.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the whole point of River Country Sports is local sports and more. We've just opened an office. We're going to have our own studio. So we're continuing to try to expand. We want to expand to Branford, and that's our next goal, to have a second team and be able to do Branford football by this coming season. We're going to try to do some basketball, going to try to do a little bit of wrestling, soccer, and whatever comes our way, and baseball, of course. And so, Tom, you're not finished with your broadcast career, because you're going to have to help us out on some of these broadcasts.
Well, I now that I'm retired, I can come out of retirement.
Well, there you go. And I know you work cheap.
Yeah.
So we do want to thank our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much to Jimmy Norris and the whole crew out at Suwannee County Economic Development. And also thanks to Brandon and the staff at First Federal Savings Bank of Florida, our 2 title sponsors for tonight's broadcast. So we certainly appreciate them. Without them, we couldn't do this.
Well, Jimmy was a chamber director for years.
Yeah.
And he, this was the highlight of the year, and he put a lot of time, a lot of effort into this. I mean, it was there, but, guys like him have made it better.
Yeah.
So,
and I thought maybe we could get Danielle on the air tonight. Talked to her, and she said she might be able to come over here and broadcast with us a little bit. So we've got a 4th microphone just in case. And I think that the tradition continues with the chamber. This started in. Tell me who the director was when this first started. It was before Edwin?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his first name was Neil.
I hate to put you on the spot like that.
Well, I went through a few chamber directors, and then Edwin fell in for a lot of years.
Yeah. He's the first one that I remember.
Yeah.
Edwin McCook.
But we had, I remember when Lex McKeithen, that was like 1978, 1979. But I'm not so sure that, could have been Edwin that was the first guy that did it, but there may have been a guy before him. I remember Neil, somebody. Oh, and I will think of his name before the broadcast is over, but I do remember another guy.
Okay. See, we're picking your brain. I know the other day you got elected into the Suwannee Sports Hall of Fame. and you started rattling off names from yesteryear, and we were all just amazed that you could retain that. I mean, I can't remember what I had for lunch.
Well, I ran the Hall of Fame for 30 years, and I did a lot of research on people. And when you take the time and effort to do, it's like writing a term paper. If you put that kind of time and effort into it, at least you try to remember the subject matter. And, there were a lot of, there's a lot of good things that have gone on in this community. Of course, I know the sports part of it is, but a lot of these guys that just translates into other things. You're a great athlete that opens the doors for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
well, just think of the lessons though you learn with sports. I mean, the teamwork and the chemistry, getting along with other people, playing within the rules. I mean, you learn a lot of things being dedicated. Hitting that weight room, hitting the books, doing what you have to do. But it does make you a better person down the road if you do it at a young age and get into those habits.
And the peripheral is even bigger because when you're winning state championships, you got 12 guys who want to be managers who aren't big enough to play football.
Man.
You got a 40-piece marching band that now is 50 pieces because we want to be part of the football program. And we got the cheerleaders, and we got the majorettes, and we got the dancing dolls. And guess what? You can't make C's, you can't play ball.
Yeah.
And if you make trouble in school, guess what? You can't play ball. So if you got the band, the student body, the football team, everybody on the same page,
yeah.
It makes being the principal of the high school a much, much easier job because everybody is involved. And then the other part that I had to explain to a few coaches along the way, not football coaches. I don't care if it's Miami FSU or Swanee High. That football program pays for your soccer, your tennis, your golf, your
no doubt.
All the other things.
And I'm glad you mentioned the band in the peripheral around Swanee Athletics because Clayton McPeak has done a great job with the band, and they're a huge part of Swanee football on Friday nights. And I'm looking forward to seeing the band perform in the parade tonight, marching down the street.
And I can tell you, there have been days when that band has performed here where it's colder than tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how would you like to put your lips on a piece of metal, and be playing?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
I can play the radio.
Yeah, well,
and that's pretty much the extent of my ability.
When I was in high school, I wasn't big enough to play football.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough weight, and I had musical talent playing drums.
Really?
And that was what I did was marching band.
All right.
And played pretty much every instrument from started out playing cymbals and ended up finishing out playing quads and snare.
Okay.
And I can tell you, it doesn't get band members don't get the recognition
right.
That the football team gets. Football gets all the glory.
Yeah.
But march up and down that street, toting a bass drum, and you got to stand and walk proud.
Yeah, and you have to stay in rhythm, and there's a lot more to it. Now it takes a lot of practice.
And I mean, it's more of a workout than what everybody thinks it's just a halftime show and boom, that's it, you're done.
Practice.
You're out there,
and the cheerleaders too. I mean, look at the work that they put in. I mean,
certainly,
and they're very athletic. I mean, let's face it, that's not easy.
Oh, most certainly.
And the sad part about it is you said it's very athletic. And the Florida High School Activities Association does not recognize cheerleading as a sports activity.
And with Title IX, I mean, that would certainly make sense to allow that to be a sport because of the time that the girls have to commit to that, and girls and guys now, I guess, with cheerleading. But you call it what you want. I think it's competition and it's a sport in my mind.
Oh, absolutely. If they give you a scholarship for it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'm thinking that it's hey, you're a guy on the Brain Bowl team, and they give you a scholarship. Yeah. Guess what? You're on the Brain Bowl team.
What's big now is esports. And Miss Tammy Neal at the middle school, she's the esports coach, and she's built this thing, and it's just incredible that the amount of kids that are competing in this. And I mean, it takes some talent to do that. And then, so the esports program, they have announcers and they do live streaming, and Tammy was a big part of helping us this year with the football season. So we appreciate what she was able to do. But it's amazing, and you can get scholarships for that.
Well, like it was teasing before, we're here doing television tonight, and I remember when we had a Marty, and it's like trying to explain to your kids what life was like without microwaves,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, you got to be kidding me. How'd you make hot chocolate? And it's like, how did we ever broadcast what we broadcast? It's and you and I did the fire when the Swanee Democrat, we were come back from a football game and just set up remotely and did that.
Yeah. And I remember that, and remember passing the word to folks at the game, kind of talking back and forth during commercial breaks, getting information and passing it to the crowd, and then coming back, and then you let us set up at the Sports Connection, and John Koch actually did that broadcast, and I was back at the station, and we stayed on the air till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just bringing folks because downtown Live Oak was on fire, which was huge.
And that's another person that when we were doing radio and doing this kind of John is John, but how many times has John been the guy?
Yeah.
The guy at the station that knew what to do, kept us on the air, and so on and so forth.
And look at that. Do we have lighting? We were kind of fading out there, and so that's we learn as we go.
They're like not those things from Star Wars, are they?
I don't know if that's helping or not, but anyway, we have some temporary lighting being set up. But looking forward to the lighted Christmas parade. It will start at 6 o'clock and make its way down US 129, heading north toward Highway 90, and going to detour a little bit. Not going to turn there at 90, going to turn at Warren Street and then head up Pine and hit 90 again, and then go to Houston and finish at Langford Stadium. But that will start at 6 o'clock from the elementary school, and it'll probably take 15 minutes till it gets here. But we will bring you the parade live in its entirety here on rivercountrysports.com. We'll take a quick timeout right after this. We'll be back with more pre-parade coverage. Stay tuned.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
The soul of Swanee isn't just a feeling. It's embodied in nature. It's found in unfiltered perfection, where beauty abounds in its most simplistic form. Experience it in the abundance of towering trees and lush flora that awakens the quieted peace of your body. Touch it in the gemstone-colored springs that tingle your senses and restores vitality. Explore it in flourishing underwater caves that spark curiosity and a sense of wonder. Absorb it in the fresh air and starry nights that enlighten your mind with clarity. There's no fluff, no crowds, and no lines. Just you and beautiful, unfiltered nature, with maybe a few surprises along the way. Come discover the life you never knew you were missing in Suwannee County, Florida. Learn more at www.visitswanee.com.
Hello and welcome to North Florida Printing Company. Come inside and let us show you what we have to offer.
One-stop auto shop, J&W Automotive. At J&W, you can buy a car. They've got a great selection to choose from. At J&W, you can get your car fixed. They provide complete vehicle repair. At J&W, they do paint and body work. Yeah! Plus tires, front-end alignments, AC work, computer diagnostics. They cut and program keys. They are truly your one-stop, all-in-one automotive shop. J&W Automotive. Highway 129 North in Live Oak. Online at jwautos.com. And welcome back, everyone. Our live coverage of the Christmas on the Square Lighted Christmas Parade, 40 years. We're celebrating tonight with our first broadcast. We hope to make this an annual tradition, bringing you the Lighted Christmas Parade here on rivercountrysports.com. Brandon Fernal now joins us from First Federal Savings Bank. How are you this evening?
Doing great. And just like you said, 40 years, I can't believe that it's that we've gotten to this point what we have, and so excited, and the weather's perfect for tonight.
It really is. And you want a little chill in the air when it comes to Christmas on the Square, and not too cold. Yeah. No rain. I mean, this is beautiful.
This is beautiful. Yeah. Ideal for this event. I've seen it in multiple ways, especially being associated with the chamber. Yeah. And this is definitely ideal.
We were reminiscing about great athletes that have come through Swanee High School, and don't want to embarrass you or anything, but you're a pretty good Bulldog back in your day. I remember you hitting a few home runs.
Yeah.
And Fernal to Harvard.
Yeah.
That was the passing combination.
That's true.
And then Bo, it's Bo to me, okay?
Okay.
It's Randy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bo played a little baseball and was pretty good until his brother came along.
Yeah.
That's pretty good too.
Well, it's called being the trailblazer, showing the way.
There you go.
What to do, what not to do, and how to do it better. Yeah. So I did that. Yeah.
And you have boys that are playing now?
Yes, I have a son that is in college playing baseball at JU right now.
That's fantastic. And just being connected with Swanee High School, I mean, we just appreciate you still being here and giving back. And let's talk a little bit about First Federal. What's happening with the bank? Any growth, any future plans, anything we should know?
Yeah, well, we're always looking to enhance ways to help our customers and so forth. But, like any bank, that we've got products, services, things like that. It's about the people. It's about the culture. It's about how we relate to our customers, how we try to meet their needs and uncover those and help find solutions. So that is kind of the focus of who we are. It's the culture. And we've been First Federal Bank for 62 years, and the future is bright. And we do have a lot of plans for continued growth, and that is going to help our customers as well.
Just don't lose that hometown feel.
Absolutely. And that's the nice thing about it. You see, from here, now I'm here. I get to serve the community in various ways and stay connected. And the nice thing is, you get to talk to me. If you need something, you get to talk to me or any of our other wonderful staff that are here local. So it's a great place to be.
First Federal Savings and Loan when I got here.
Okay.
A shake building.
Yeah.
And you had to walk through John Flood's office to get to Keith Lightfree.
Yeah.
That's taking us back.
That was a layer. Yeah.
They've come a long way also.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and Keith is still in the picture. I mean, he's still involved and engaged, and he loves this community as well as all the communities that we serve. And
First Federal Sports Complex. I go walk there every morning.
Yes. I play pickleball there. I mean, we're hosting baseball tournaments now with Sports and Rec. So there's obviously, we're looking for ways to continue to enhance ways to serve the community.
Well, maybe artificial grass for the outfield also, because we have it for the infield.
Well, it's progress. Progress is progress, right?
But that's another thing. That's you played a lot of ball. We played a lot of ball.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine you'd be playing Little League baseball on artificial turf?
No. I mean, if we were up in the Northeast or somewhere like that, where conditions are different, that's one thing. But here in the South, I just didn't think we would ever see that. But as things evolved, especially with the travel ball and tournaments and things like that, you need to have continuous play. And if a field gets wet, you delay that. So with having these artificial turf that dries, it drains differently, so you can have that ongoing play. And that makes a difference.
No weeds, no bugs, no mowing, no watering. And then, it's got to be so much cheaper.
Yeah, and you can kind of predict the hop a little bit. So, you know what to expect. I know there's on Helveson Street with the little park over there, it's actually artificial turf on a T-ball field. Have you seen that? It's really nice. I don't know if you've been over there and seen that. But,
I know where you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you can hit a home run there.
Yeah, Tom might even get in.
He could do it.
Now I could.
Yeah.
But I don't want to embarrass you because I saw you pitch.
Yeah.
I was clocked one time with Coach Beal. We went to a trade show.
Mm-hmm.
I was 50 years old and clocked at 86.
Woo.
Speaking of Coach Beal, he does. He's play-by-play now on the Valdosta State Blazers.
Yeah.
And listen to him today. They got another win, moving on to the playoffs. But he does a fantastic job at that. He and Scott Matheson. Yeah. Don't know if you're aware of that or
I'm
not.
aware of that.
I did a soccer broadcast when he was here coaching.
Mhm.
He wanted to do radio so bad, and we did a soccer game together. And if you got to pick a sport with the least amount of like bang bang action,
Yeah.
that was it. And it was like he was cured.
Yeah. Did he get? He was just waiting to say goal.
Yeah. And there's like 2 or 3 of them a game, and that's it. It's. And it's not like baseball where between innings you can talk like we're talking now,
Right.
and you could tell lies and whatnot. No, because it's like and getting commercials in was like nearly impossible.
Randy, how many of these parades have you seen out of the 40? Have you seen a majority of them?
I would say yes. I try to make every one of them. Since being a kid and moved away for a short period of time, but came back, and then this has always been a highlight this time of year. And again, being outside and seeing this particular one, there's a lot of energy that goes into the preparation for this particular parade, especially as it follows Christmas on the Square. And it's just it's a weekend full of events, and as we've seen with the chamber, I mean, that has continued to enhance too. I mean, we had a 1-day Saturday. Now you're doing events on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
it's a full event.
And the crowd today and all weekend long has been incredible. And just look at the streets; they're lined, folks everywhere getting ready for this parade.
Yeah,
so it's a special event.
Absolutely.
You must have had to have some kids in this parade at some point in time.
Absolutely, yeah. I have 3 kids. They've all participated in these parades. I don't have one necessarily tonight, but yes, definitely they've all participated. Yeah.
And that's that's one of the things we were talking about, community, how it just kind of mushrooms and gets bigger and bigger. And it's like, I saw you play and I asked about your son because I knew and I wanted you to be able to say that.
Yeah.
That he's playing at the next level, and that's great.
Yeah, sure, certainly.
And of course, he married the prettiest girl in high school, Lee Drain.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was kind of a priority too. While I was here, when I realized that, I said, okay, I've got to hang on to this one. And for the last 28 years, I've been able to do that.
So far, so good.
So everything's looking good so far.
yeah, he is a classic. I married up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we all have to say that. I mean, this is my 40th year of marriage this year, so we're celebrating next weekend. As a matter of fact,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, you got to congratulate my wife more than me. She deserves a medal.
Yeah. Put up with you that long.
Exactly. So, but and then our kids have graduated from Swanee and then moved on and have careers now. But it's just interesting to watch. I can remember Randy when he was just playing, in the rec leagues.
I officiated him when he played in the rec league,
Yeah.
and I forget who it was, but him and somebody just back and forth in a basketball game once, and I had to call them aside and speak to them in a language that I never used on air.
Yeah.
And after that, it was fine. They were just 2 kids that were just, talking it up between each other.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how long I've known Brandon. I think he was maybe 5 or 6 years old.
We appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us here as we broadcast the parade live. We're going to take a quick time out. I hear the sirens, so the parade is getting underway and should be to our vantage point here in just a couple of minutes. We'll take a quick time out and continue with the lighted Christmas parade. It's Christmas on the Square, broadcasting live on rivercountrysports.com.
I still see your
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
The soul of Swanee isn't just a feeling. It's embodied in nature. It's found in unfiltered perfection. where beauty abounds in its most simplistic form. Experience it in the abundance of towering trees and lush flora that awakens the quieted peace of your body. Touch it in the gemstone-colored springs that tingle your senses and restores vitality. Explore it in flourishing underwater caves that spark curiosity and a sense of wonder. Absorb it in the fresh air and starry nights that enlighten your mind with clarity. There's no fluff, no crowds, and no lines. Just you and beautiful, unfiltered nature, with maybe a few surprises along the way. Come discover the life you never knew you were missing in Suwannee County, Florida. Learn more at www.visitswanee.com.
What's a football game without pizza? Papa John's Pizza of Live Oak can take care of all of your football dining needs. Take care of your hungry crowd before, during, or after the game. Stop by Papa John's for better pizza, better wings, and many other delicious menu items for the family or the game crowd. Papa John's Pizza always has better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some. Hey, Bulldogs, let the UPS Store of Live Oak handle all of your packing and shipping needs. The UPS Store of Live Oak also offers mailboxes, printing, faxing, scanning. We also offer notary services and shredding services as well. Stop by your local UPS store. There's help in here. Real help. The UPS Store, proud sponsors of Suwannee Bulldog football on the riverofcountrysports.com.
And we are live once again, getting ready for the Lighted Christmas Parade. 40 years of Christmas on the Square and Lighted Christmas Parades. We now have the mayor of the town of Live Oak with us, Frank Davis. And have you seen them all? Tom says he's seen every parade.
I have not seen them all,
Okay.
but Tom would be the one that has seen them. I can guarantee you that.
Well, isn't this wonderful? I mean,
It's great.
Christmas on the Square was just so much fun with all the people showing up and, the annual tradition. And now, I mean, look at the folks lining the streets.
It's a great turnout, and the Christmas on the Square today was just packed with people. I think if it wasn't the most people we've had here, it was pretty close.
I think it was close to the record. I tell you what, I don't remember it being as big. And I know we haven't always had beautiful weather, but this year, Mother Nature cooperated.
Well, we either are complaining about it being too warm or too wet. And today we had a few complaints about it being too cold, but that was good.
Early it was chilly, but
It was great.
To be a little crisp, but
Absolutely.
Christmas time.
It feels like Christmas today, and it's great. It's a beautiful day.
Now, Frank, are you going to jump into the parade and walk the rest of the way when it gets here?
I may. We'll
You're
see
going to be
how it
looking
goes.
for a golf cart that says City of Live Oak on it.
I
That's
will
what
be.
you'll be doing.
Well, I'm a judge, so I have to watch all of
Oh,
I
okay.
have to see all of the floats, so I can't do that.
Well, I was telling Wayne that I had judged this parade, and the qualifications, there are none. So you proved my point.
I think, I think you have to be 18 and pass a drug test, and it's kind of like anyways.
And
It's
different
minimum
divisions.
requirements.
Different divisions, and there's a lot of people that put a bunch of hard work into these parade floats and stuff.
They do, and I know in the past we've done a lot from our church, and it was a lot of work, and these people are to be commended. They spend a lot of time, and it costs a lot of money too.
No doubt.
Yeah, they put a lot into it. So we're grateful, and it's always the highlight. And in fact, it helps our businesses. I had a businessman tell me many years ago, has a food establishment here. He said, Christmas on the Square Day, parade day, is my highest volume of sales.
Wow. That's wonderful.
For the year. Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of folks come in and hopefully spend money, and that's what it's all about, is kick off the Christmas season.
That's right. And we always like for the visitors to come and let's get a little bit of their money, right? Keep that here in Suwannee County in Live Oak.
Now, who else is judging with you over there?
We've got, you shouldn't ask me, Ashley and,
Ashley and what's his name?
And what's her name? There you go.
And Frank is another guy who married up.
Here's the thing. They know who they are. So that's fine.
Yeah, they know who they are. I apologize. You caught me off guard.
Yeah, he'll do that.
He does. So I was expecting to hear, and Davis takes the snap and he drops back. He finds Daniels in the end zone. Touchdown. So,
We would do that,
Oh,
and that we've enjoyed doing the football season this year on River Country Sports, and hopefully many more to come. So,
Y'all do a
all
great
folks have
job.
enjoyed the streaming.
yeah, you guys do a great job. Always enjoyed listening to you guys. And now my wife said, "Oh, it's on the internet now," and she's excited about it. And it's great. Y'all do a terrific job, and I just appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Well, thank you. That's what it's all about.
Amen. And this is a great event, and just glad everything went well. And you always, want to say at the end of the day that not only did everybody had a good time, or as we used to say, a good time was had by all,
That's right.
but that everyone was safe.
Yeah.
So that's the main goals.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a little water issue with the snow on the square,
Yep.
but outside of that, it's gone off without a hitch. And I understand we're actually going to avoid 90 and 129, so we're going to cut up Warren Street
Correct.
to Pine, and then up to 90.
90 and then head west.
That was the mayor's plan. He put that was his emergency plan. It was evacuation plan. He put that into give him a little
Listen,
credit.
if it works, it was my plan. If it doesn't, I know there was somebody that came up with that. But no, that's the plan they made, and I think it's a good one.
All right. I can hear the siren, so it's
Yep.
it's closing in on us.
I think I better get over there and get set, get ready for it. And again, thank you guys for being out here.
Okay,
Good
and
to
if
see
they
you guys.
bring you,
Yes, sir.
because you're a judge, if they bring you like bags of candy,
Well,
you
we can't
could
do
bring them over here.
We,
Okay, that's not a problem.
Well-
we can be bribed.
yes, they do give us a little goodie box there from the chamber. It's got some chocolates and that sort of thing in it. But that's to be expected, and it's necessary. It's a cold night; it'll warm you up to have a little chocolate.
There you go.
So, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, God bless. Merry Christmas.
Have a good one.
The 2024 Christmas on the Square celebration, a hometown holiday tradition celebrating 40 years this year in downtown Live Oak, Florida, presented by the Suwannee County Chamber of Commerce. And again, like to thank our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. The Suwannee County Economic Development Office and First Federal Savings Bank of Florida. Also want to thank North Florida Printing Company, J&W Automotive, Rapid Fiber Internet, Papa John's Pizza, Beef O'Brady's, and the UPS store of Live Oak. And I'm guessing it looks like the parade right now is passing in front of the South Oak Square, and should be in our way in about, I'm going to guess, about 5 to 10 minutes.
Do you really think anybody knows South Oak Square? Where
Okay.
Publix used to be.
Where Publix used to be.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Where
'Cause
Kmart used
we
to
got
be.
Jay Howe over here, and he doesn't know all the, where this used to be thing.
Yeah.
Used to be Kmart.
Sure. Well, I guess. Yeah. Actually, Publix was there when I moved up here. Publix was there. Yeah.
And before that, it was a Kmart. Then Kmart moved across the street, and then they went into business.
Yeah. Then they moved into oblivion.
Yeah, that's true. I think the last I heard, there was one partial Kmart store in Miami, which was inside another business, and that's the end of Kmart. But it's amazing how things change. Who would have thought Sears and Roebuck would ever be in trouble?
Mm.
Or Woolworth, for that matter. I mean,
Or Grants.
Eckerd's Drugs. I mean, all the things but nothing stays the same. Everything changes, even though I fight it.
Now, they used to make a lot more noise with the fire engines,
Yeah.
and as loud as it will be, and we won't be able to hear ourselves, they did calm it down.
Well, I can remember when the kids were little and bringing them out of the parade. They just went crazy. They loved the sirens and the lights, and that was.
And the other kids hated it because it was so loud, and that's why they turned it down.
Okay.
So there were two sides to the loud coin. And I don't know, if this year it's the deal, but most of the time the Grand Marshal is in, well, a lot of times he might be in one of the fire engines, especially if it's cold.
Now, the last time I did the parade, we broadcast from WLVO in front of the Sports Connection, of course, and
It's like 7 years ago.
it's been a while. But we had a listing, and Vivian Starling was my point person, and he was very
did a
organized.
tremendous
Oh, yeah,
job.
she did
Oh,
for years.
absolutely. Yes,
and,
yes.
and love her to death. But so she gives me the parade lineup, and we were able to tell you it was. Now, I went to the chamber this time around with that same intent, and they said, well, it's first come, first served. So we can't really give you a parade line. So you're going to have to help me identify the floats as they come down. Yeah.
I'll make
Okay.
them up.
Or we can make them up.
Not a problem.
That ought to be exciting. And we have cameras on both sides of the road. We've got Mr. Dusty here. He's on top of the hill with us. And we've got Lucy and Sawyer across the street and getting you the close-up shots. And I've got Rivers behind us keeping the stream together. And so we're just waiting for the parade to get down here. But it's slow crawling.
Rivers is like the brains of this outfit, isn't
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is.
We just put on the headsets.
Well, the intention at the beginning was to teach some of these young people, about broadcasting. But as technology has changed, it turns out they're teaching us.
They're actually teaching you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About the new technology.
It is. Like
I started telling them about reel-to-reel tape and things like that.
They're scratching your head. They're scratching their head and going, "What's that?"
Yeah, I know.
A cassette.
Yeah, I know.
And you thought they'd all want to grab the microphone, but they don't.
No, they'd rather be on the other side of the camera. Tried to get Sawyer on here, and he does a lot of the esports announcing, so he's actually very good, but a bit shy around the old people.
And when I stepped down from the football games, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was, I really thought it was time for young people to come on, and it was no, we can stay with Andy and Wayne.
Yeah,
they'll be 100 soon.
Yeah, and we're going to keep doing it as long as we can see the field, which is getting harder every year. But we still love Swanee football, and eventually there will be a new crew. And like I said, we have expansion plans, and we're hiring. So if you want to get into this sort of work, just come see us, and we'll go from there.
They have expansion plans, and they're dragging a 74-year-old man out to do basketball games.
Yeah.
Got to work with what you got.
We know your experience, your work history. So, yeah. Do you remember the first basketball we did? Don Atherton was a coach, and he tells us to broadcast on top of a doggone backboard.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We were younger, but my back was killing me by halftime. And from there, we said, we got to have a table. This is not working.
There's no way we could ever get up there at this point in our lives.
No. I wouldn't even attempt it.
And I did games when I didn't do games with you. I did games with Willie Spears, who was the football, and Willie was great. He was and not a great football coach, but a great basketball.
He's a good guy. Yeah, didn't have the winning success that we would have liked, but a good guy and part of the Swanee history, that's for sure.
And I told you, Wade Beal, who was a coach, did radio. Pittman did a baseball game with him. Terry Mixon, we did 100 baseball games together. Coach Spears, we did that. So the coaches that, they've come along and been, and then we did the coaches show forever.
Yeah.
So,
you and I did baseball, not only in Live Oak, but we did Game of the Week where we went to Mayo and Brantford and Fort White and different places.
And if I didn't live in Live Oak, Mayo is where I'd want to live. Nicest people. We had the best times there. We were treated like royalty.
Yeah, I loved going my trips to Mayo and working with Coach Pearson and the football team.
And Taylor McGrew,
yeah, Taylor McGrew, yeah, no doubt. Great folks, and that town really supports the football team, which is wonderful. All right, I see the flashing lights. I don't know if can you see that on camera?
Yes.
All right.
I can see it on camera right here. It looks like a UFO.
Yeah, it looks like a big blob of lights. But we're being led by, I believe, get a little bit closer here. I think it's the sheriff's department will be up first.
Well, usually they'll take one Live Oak PD and one sheriff's PD and put them out front so that everybody's happy.
Yeah, and John always corrects me. He says it's a sheriff's office and police department.
Yes, Swanee County Sheriff's Office and Live Oak Police Department.
Yeah, I don't want to get my thoughts crossed there.
Because the office part makes you independent. You where the police department comes under people like Frank Davis.
Yeah. And Sam St. John, of course, the sheriff of Swanee County, just won re-election. So congratulations to him. And I see the two police cars as that will begin the parade here in Live Oak, Florida.
And it looks like walking right behind them is the honor guard.
Yeah. Got the American flag and also the state of Florida flag.
Yes,
so
sir.
Flying those colors. And then come the fire department right behind them. So you got the Live Oak Police, Swanee County. You got the color guard, and then come the fire department, the Live Oak Fire Department, the first engine. And boy, they've come a long way from the days of the volunteer fire departments.
And we used to have a fire department on either side of the railroad tracks.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because in case there was a train there, you had to have one on one side and one on the other.
Yeah. And that was right across the street from the post office, which is now Collins and Company, but that was where the other fire department was. And that's where the post office used to be, too. Wayne, who is that little character up here on the City of Live Oak?
It looks like McGruff. Is that McGruff the crime dog? Is that who that is?
Well, I'm not sure. He's sitting up there on a bucket
Yeah, I
truck.
think that's McGruff. And yeah, he's up there on top of the fire engine. And let's hope they don't extend that ladder. Maybe he's got a seatbelt. He looks comfortable. It's probably warm in there too, in that costume.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, that ladder truck, we can reach anything in Suwannee County.
That's true. I think we're on the high point now. And there's another City of Live Oak Fire Department truck. That's an older model there. Kind of a retro.
Yeah, and if you knew what these things cost, you'd understand why.
Have color guard here bringing up we got the American flag there, and I'm trying to make out that second flag. I think it's for fire rescue, I believe. Not that much of a breeze going, which is a good thing on a cool night.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have some emergency vehicles. And, emergency vehicles, they got the off-road vehicles. You got your traditional looking vehicles. This is fire and rescue coming by us now. But they got all the lights flashing.
If they could only throw the candy all the way up here.
Yeah. And there's Suwannee Rescue. Yeah, now they came out with a rule. You're not supposed to throw the candy from the float. So you're supposed to have somebody walking on the side and handing out the candy.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to roll through stop signs either.
Yeah. That's called a California stop.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. Come to a full stop. And now, so Suwannee Fire and Rescue passing by us now. "In God We Trust" written on the vehicle. That's cool.
And when we used to have, like Wellburn, volunteer fire department, Falmouth volunteer, we had God forbid there would be a fire.
Yeah, and we mentioned the Live Oak Fire and all of the fire departments. I mean, everybody chipped in. It was incredible to see all the communities come together to fight the big blaze downtown. And there's a ambulance from Suwannee County Fire Rescue. You don't want to see that pulling up in your driveway. Unless you have to have it. Here comes our first float. And this is a nice one. Look at this.
Well, they said first come, first serve here. And I see a picture of a helicopter. And there was a helicopter.
Yeah. Got a helicopter on the front of it.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess that the Experimental Aircraft Association. That's just a wild guess. Proudly serving the community. And yeah, good looking float, man. They put some time into that one as they make their way past our vantage point.
And they have a lot of candy giver outers.
Yeah. And that's one of the highlights for the kids, man. They want that candy.
Oh,
it's run out since Halloween.
Here's where Wayne lives, right here. This next float.
Okay.
What is it? Is that a doghouse?
Oh, yeah. Oftentimes. Yeah, this looks like HCA Florida Healthcare. And they've got a float, a lighted float. Happy holidays, it says, from HCA Florida.
I've been there. They saved my life.
No, we love them guys.
Yeah. And that's a cute little float with the doghouse.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful.
All right. Speaking of beautiful, there appears to be a beautiful woman standing in this one and throwing some things away, and that's Catherine Allen. And she is Trailblazer of the Year. And I know Catherine, she helped when we used to do the jazz festivals, and she still helps with it. She does the spring festival. She does a whole bunch of that stuff. So she's very, very deserving of this honor.
Now we got a big buck coming at us now. Look at this.
Good thing Andy's not here. He'd be shooting.
That's not Rudolph.
And this is the sheriff's. Even though the sheriff's pulling it, this is the sheriff's float right here.
Yeah. And they're pulling a boat, and they've decorated a boat. Merry Christmas.
And,
nice design.
Yeah, it looks like a sleigh.
It does.
Except for the 3 motors.
And there's
Sam
cart.
right there.
There's Sam St. John. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And he's got his own escort.
One thing about Suwannee County, we don't like change with our sheriff's department. I mean, Robert Leonard was the sheriff for 20 years, and Al Williams for another decade or so, and then Tony Cameron. We don't like to change.
No, everybody's been there for at least 2 terms, and I think Sheriff Leonard was there for 24 years, and that could be 28 years. And here comes Smokey.
There's Smokey Bear.
Yep, Department of Forestry.
And they broke out the big equipment. So they got the big truck, and then they got
Have you ever seen that stuff work?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Fire lines and what have you.
Oh, yeah.
Big old D9 dozer.
And hopefully, you're not out there starting fires, but just in case there is one that gets loose, they're ready to go to work.
Hey, a hometown holiday tradition.
That's the theme of this parade.
Right there.
And this seems to be maybe FFA, one of the ag groups. I see pigs and cats and cows on the float.
I think you nailed it. And a paw.
Yeah. I'm going 4-H or FFA. But ag, a big part of our community, so you would expect them to be in here a couple of times.
And it may still be the same for years and years and years. Suwannee County had the biggest tobacco barns, and the biggest place for tobacco was Suwannee County. We were number 1 in the state. Yeah.
Here comes Pool Realty.
Yeah, Pool Realty. Ronnie Pool been around forever, and there are a lot of pools that live in, and they're all kind of like related to each other some which way.
Now Andrew Pool kind of running things.
Andy's doing it.
Doing a great job as he jogs down the street. They're passing out candy as well.
Oh, and this is our mayor's church right here, Melody Christian Academy Wildcats.
Suwannee Bulldogs and Melody Wildcats. And they are passing by. Got a nice convertible there. And we've got some beautiful gals on top of the car. Cool. I think next year you're going to have to pick a better lighting for where we set up. Everything's kind of dark, but hope you're enjoying our coverage of the parade.
Yeah, we can get the lights that they use like on the road when they fix those.
Okay, yeah. That's the problem. They are out. This isn't our fault. It's the city.
Yeah, I'll talk to Frank.
Okay.
And this Assembly of God.
Live Oak First Assembly of God Church passing by, doing a great job with their float. And a lighted golf cart.
And I can tell you that this parade is going a little slower than usual because when you go down Warren, that left is not as big as the left on 90. And then when you make the right to go back on 90, you're talking 2 lanes. And, these guys are going to take a little to flesh it. If you're pulling a float, it's going to take a little time to negotiate those corners.
And normally the parade it's a pretty good parade lasting about an hour or so. From start to finish.
And if somebody breaks down, it can last for a couple of hours or so.
There goes Wes Haney Chevrolet. Been one of our major sponsors here on River Country Sports.
And I've done the coaches show from Wes Haney Chevrolet.
Yeah, and they were the sponsor of the coaches show this year from our Pool Realty Studios. So appreciate David and that whole bunch out there. And there's a police off-road vehicle coming by. And who is this? This is Tri-River Assembly. International Order of Rainbow for Girls.
That's what it says.
Okay. And they got gals on the back. They're all lit up. They're wearing lighted capes, I guess you would call that. Drapes.
Star Wars.
Yeah. But you got to be careful on hitting that brake. They ease into it. Don't want them falling over there.
At least they don't have lightsabers. See, now here's a big delay here.
Got a little gap.
And we have somebody coming through without lights.
Yeah. And a lot of times what happened, because this happened to us in a parade one time, we had a generator and the whole thing blew. couple of years ago, and we were in the dark for the rest of the parade.
It's RO,
NJROTC
coming. And for years and years and years, Doug Ackerman did that.
And they can't get, going too fast. That's probably because these guys are walking. They're marching.
Oh, wow. We got a lot of them.
And, that's good to see, the patriotism. And that's a dedication now. That's a commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I went to one of they had a thing in the gym one time where other teams came in and competed, and the Queen Mary salute with the guns and all that. Yeah, it's they have their own room at the high school. I mean, it's
what I remember the most in NJRTC. I was not in NJRTC, but I did join the Navy. And in boot camp, the drill instructor wanted to know if anybody been to NJROTC, and if you raised your hand, that meant you were the leader of the pack, and everybody hated you right off the bat. So, just saying, future leaders. And here's some pretty girls.
Oh, this is the
Forestry Queens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, and having been in the trophy business, you cannot have enough tiaras.
And they got to be cold up there because they're not wearing jackets.
Yeah, well, there's like 7 tiaras up there.
And see, they got the parade wave.
Yeah,
you know how to do the parade wave.
Yeah.
And here goes a big truck. Big semi with lights on the back.
Okay, and probably a name on the door.
We're getting there. I see a Superman.
Yeah. This is if your car breaks down. Actually, they have
American Towing.
Yeah,
what it says.
And I think they have another one that's big enough to do like the semis when they break. Oh well, guess what?
Right
there it is, right behind it.
So this is just if your regular truck breaks down, they'll bring you this one. And then if you got a semi breaking down, they got to break out the big boy.
Yeah, that's like a sand shark, and it's like a great white.
Huh?
Yeah,
American Towing Company.
Yeah, I've seen them on the interstate, getting semis, and it's like.
Well, and they got Superman on the side of the truck, so they got to be cool.
Yeah, and Brandon should be here to tell us how much they finance these things for.
Yeah,
because it's probably a $300,000-$400,000 truck.
Now this took some time to put the lights on this truck. Look at this.
Didn't come that way.
Man, that is cool. Got a Christmas tree in the back of it, in the bed.
Oh, look, and the lights are lit up, and
underneath
the shock absorbers are lit up. The struts are lit up. Yeah,
it's looking good.
Good thing it didn't rain.
Yeah.
Here comes my band.
Here comes the pride of Swanee marching band.
We got majorettes out front. Oh, they got the lights. They're lit up.
Yeah. Let's listen to the band. Yeah, how that bring you back, seeing the drummers marching.
Right too.
Now you don't.
I noticed the one drummer had lighted sticks also.
Yeah, he didn't have to be the best. He is the best. Wouldn't make any difference. You just watching them lighted sticks. That was impressive. The lighted drumsticks.
I tell you what, they sure add a bunch of excitement when you go to the football games. Man, I hate games when the band's not there. I mean, it just feels dull. I mean, they're a huge part of our success.
And I'm looking. I think that was our cheerleaders that are walking behind the band.
Walking behind the band.
Yeah, and this may be, I don't know if this is homecoming people. What's that say?
Yeah. Junior Miss. This is a Lusty. Or a Lusty Junior Miss.
Oh, all the way from Columbia County.
Yeah. From a Lusty. We celebrate that in February, the annual Battle of a Lusty.
Yeah, where you can also go freeze to death or walk in.
It's usually pretty cold that time of the year.
And if it's not cold, it's wet.
And that's another parade that's pretty neat. I don't know if you ever taken that in or not, like through the streets of Lake City.
I've done my 120 here.
There's a nice decoration. They got lights all around the truck and also on the trailer.
And the same thing under the wheel wells. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. That does look neat. Very festive. Not sure who that represents. Don't see a name on the truck.
Got a name on the back of the trailer.
How good are your eyes?
Not that good.
Here comes Little Caesars. Well, that was easy enough to figure out.
Pizza. And they've got the pizza mascot there marching behind the float. So they got a truck with the Little Caesars logo and all lit up. Now, are they throwing out candy or slices of pizza?
No, they're wing
Red sticks, maybe?
pepperonis.
Okay.
Pepperoni slices. This could be Advent Christian people. I'm not sure, but when you put a lot of people on, no, they're too young.
Big Ram truck pulling this float. It's like the Douglas alumna. How about that? For those that don't know, the Douglas School was back during segregation, was, I guess, considered the black school. And thankfully, those days are history.
And it's the Douglas Tigers.
That's right. And I learned that in one of Keith's reports. He was actually on a Bulldog Bark interviewing MacArthur Linton, and they talked about Tiger Pride. And I'm, immediately thinking Lake City, but no, Douglas.
Well, when integration came, they took the the gold from Douglas, incorporated it into the green and white of Swanee. And as I told you at the Hall of Fame ceremonies, Alfred Smith, the only Douglas high school player in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Yeah. That's a shame.
And there's anybody that's my age that's black that lived here, you're Douglas, you're an alumni there. I mean, I know bunches and bunches of people.
I'm just glad of the progress we've made, and we can all be one.
Yeah.
Who cares what color you are?
And here's Busy Bee, and he does everything. He cuts trees, he cleans yard. I remember when he first started, he painted for me.
No kidding.
So Keith's come a long, long way.
And now Charles Bean is the painting company, and Busy Bee is taking care of your yard. But not got the big equipment on that one.
Yeah, he does. Big old excavator.
And lights. And everybody lit up.
Yeah, he's got two of them.
Got a couple of trucks here.
Yeah. And it's, that's a great success story. Like I say, I remember this guy had a roller and a paintbrush.
And now doing stump grinding and tree trimming and tree removal and whatever it takes.
Yeah, see, and when you get down to that corner and you got to make the left and then go down, you see how hard it's going to be for him to make that right back on the 90?
That's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and that's why it's slow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a parade, so it's supposed to be slow. I love a parade.
Well,
our parade coverage brought to you by the Suwannee County Economic Development Office and by First Federal Savings Bank of Florida, our title sponsors for our broadcast of the Lighted Christmas Parade. And certainly appreciate those guys. Brandon Fernald stopping by earlier from First Federal Savings Bank. And I want to thank Jimmy Norris and the folks there at the Economic Development Office.
Well, this looks very interesting.
Like another bunch of big equipment coming here. And this looks like this is Busy Bee as well. So they've got, this is their third truck that's in the parade, along with some heavy equipment on the trailer and American flags on the back. And a fourth truck. And they got the bucket truck here.
And this truck is going to be real fun to make that corner.
We're rooting for them.
Yeah. He may have to go right across 90, go down Duval.
Yeah. Well, and the roads will be opened up after the parade. We'll reopen the streets, but they've been closed, with Christmas on the Square, as you would imagine.
That was my job for years and years, was to close Court Street. And put the cones out and put the horses out and put the tape out. So I'd have a place to park.
There comes a parade flow. They have music on this one. Folks getting a free ride. part of the parade. I'm not sure who that is, but
that could
Merry Christmas.
Could be the village people.
The village people. The people from the village.
Or you'd rather be the village people than the Advent people.
Okay.
There's Pine Mount Baptist coming through.
Pine Mount Baptist Church, they've done a beautiful job with their float. Very nice.
Will manger children?
Says Pine Mount Baptist Church, come worship with us.
That
So the parade Saturday night and then church on Sunday.
Well, that one will make the finals there. I don't know where they'll finish, but it'll make it somewhere.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a very nice float.
And this looks like a real estate float.
They got a for sale sign on it.
United Country Real Estate.
Yes.
How about that? And I think they're based out of Jasper. Of course, they sell all over North Florida. And next week's the Jasper Parade, by the way. Next Saturday night.
I will put that right on my calendar, except they may have to be doing a basketball game.
That's true. We'll see. And now that's a unique looking car. They've got lights on the front.
How would you like to pass one of those things like on I-10?
Yeah.
Especially after you've been out drinking.
I'm not going to be driving if I've been out drinking. Oh, there's a
couple more
couple of beautiful ladies.
And here, now these guys, they do this every year, but they do a whole lot. The library, they're into this thing.
The Swanee River Regional Library, and they're pushing the book carts through the streets of Live Oak.
Yeah, and I remember, when Danny Hale ran the library for like 100 years.
Just saw him recently when Kiwanis turned 100. He came in and did a morning show with us on the radio, so appreciate that. Danny, for years, was head of the library system.
And a pretty good golfer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I know he's a big Kentucky basketball fan.
Well, because he was from Kentucky.
Yeah.
We went there. That'll do it every time.
Yeah. And who do we have here? This is a
Altman Tree and Land
Services.
Well, that's a cute one with the Grinch.
Yeah. They got the Grinch. They got some smiley faces as well. Christmas tree. Folks getting a ride.
Here's a finalist.
All lit up here. And being pulled by a tractor.
Front end loader. And lit up. And what's it say up there?
The Doggy Dig Ranch.
Oh, this is where you put your dogs overnight. It's like a dog sitting thing.
Instead of your kid going to daycare, you bring your dog to the daycare.
There you go.
Yeah. What if your dog looks more forward to that than coming home?
Yeah, you're in trouble then. You got to buy better biscuits.
That must be why I don't have one.
How about a cat? You have a cat?
No.
Would you like one?
No. If it breathes, it has to eat. And if it has to eat, there's something else it has to do. So I just stay away from them.
Everyone poops, Tom. Everyone poops. That's a children's book. I can say that. Oh, man. Here's a nice one coming. This is a pretty big size float coming up next, all lit up. Now, I have broadcast the parade. I have been in the parade. I have watched the parade through all the different years. I've walked the parade route.
This is Smith
Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another success story. I mean, they started out, just cutting a few lawns, and now look at the size of the business. And those guys, they cut a lawn faster than anybody I've ever seen. And it could be raining. They'll turn the lights on. I mean, they just get it done.
Yeah, I hooked them up with some people here on Pine Avenue a couple of years ago, and they're just thrilled with the
Here comes
service.
the Grinch. The Grinch is walking down the parade route. Bah humbug. He's got a Grinch costume there. That's pretty cool. Here comes Nutrien, our next float. They've got a great big float. Snowmen and reindeer.
Now, isn't that the old Occidental?
Yeah.
That's where
ECS,
Yeah,
Nutrien now.
Yeah, Bo Fernald's brother Braxton works there.
Yeah. Andy Day works.
And you remember Eric Smith played football for us?
Oh, yeah. Went to
Alfred's
FSU?
son, yeah. He's out there. We've got a lot of people out there. Clifford Bean's out there. Katie Kirby, she's the queen of something.
And well deserved.
And we don't have any ugly girls, I'll tell you that.
Of course not.
They all look so pretty with the tiaras and the ribbons.
And that's followed by another float with it looks like live animals on it. Are those live animals? Those llamas or alpacas?
They were once upon a time.
I saw the head turn. Is that animatronics or something?
I was going to leave that one alone. I wasn't sure.
I don't know. You call it animatronics. We might call it lunch.
I'm not eating an alpaca. Okay, I got to draw the line somewhere. Does it taste like chicken?
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm sorry.
Is that alpaca my own lunch?
Yeah.
That's right. There's another Grinch. How many Grinches do we have?
Ooh, that's how he was able to steal Christmas. There's like 50 of them.
There's
Citizen of the Year, Doug Udell.
Douglas Udell.
I know Doug for 48 years.
Former commissioner.
Matter of fact, I was just talking to him the other day, and his son now running the funeral home, doing a great job. And they have a beautiful funeral home over there. They gave me the grand tour. That's cute.
That is. It's got antlers.
Yeah.
A tractor with antlers.
We got all-wheel drive tractor with antlers all over it.
Man, I tell you what, some of these tractors today, I mean, the cabs are just incredible with all the equipment and everything. It's not like the old Green Acres days.
No, sir.
They've come a long way.
Air conditioned, heated, radio.
Radio, just stereo playing, you know. And you can put the GPS; it'll keep you in a straight line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
Oh, now this guy's got a shovel full of snow.
He sure does. In the front of his bucket truck there.
Yeah, I think this is all done for Crystal Kubota.
Okay. That is a Kubota tractor right there, front end loader.
Yeah, I think that's what it says here on the back of the trailer there.
Yeah, they're out there on the turnoff road is across from
right up there by Backwoods.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cut through.
Big Oak.
You know, you don't realize how fast we're growing around here. I mean, it doesn't seem, it's like watching your child and then, you know, you don't see them for a year and all of a sudden, like, wow, you've grown. But Suwannee County is growing. It's expanding. Much as I'd like to keep it the size that it is, but it's progress. If it gets any bigger, I'm moving to Mayo.
And I see people here in short sleeves and shorts.
Yeah, they're tougher than me.
And
We're putting on a fourth layer here.
They're a whole lot tougher than me. You got it. Thanks.
I don't think it's going to freeze tonight, but it's going to be down in the mid to upper 30s, so that's cold enough.
That's freezing for me.
Here's the CWA, the Communications Workers of America, Local 3174 right here.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And they're passing out candy to the kids. Now, there's a hot rod right there.
That's about my speed there.
Good looking vehicle.
Little old T-bucket.
One of those things you put together. You and I don't put it together, but there's somebody.
No, they're just cool to see. You know? Yeah. They had a car show downtown during Christmas on the Square. Classic cars. It was pretty cool to see. And walk by and check those out. Spend a little time looking at the cars and vehicles. And folks put a lot of time and money into that.
And you know, the amazing thing is if that's your hobby, you turn around and put $150,000 into a car and then you get tired of it 5 years later and you sell it for 30 grand.
Here's the Live Oak Church of God. And they've got a banner for folks walking the parade route, carrying the banner in front of the float.
Have you ever been to their basketball court?
I have.
Yes, I refereed a game there. And that's a really nice facility there.
Have you seen the Coliseum lately? I mean, they redid the floor. It's
no,
actually nice. And Doug, we were talking about Douglas a while ago. Their gymnasium is.
Well, that one I have been to.
Yeah, very nice.
But no, I'll have to check that out. Well, that's another thing. Greg Scott's done a tremendous job with the rec department, and now
Jason Furry.
Yeah, and now Greg is the county coordinator and has done a great job with all sorts of things. And the great thing about the rec department, when you go downtown for Crystal Summit Square, the garbage cans, anything that you sit, it's all the rec department. There's Skinner's, Ronnie Skinner.
Skinner's Paint and Body, Fane, Sue Ellen, the whole gang, Hannah. I tried to get them to sponsor, and they didn't quite understand the streaming. So maybe next year we can get them on board.
And that's the hook. He's got the big truck too.
Yeah. There's the dance shop. I'm surprised they don't. Oh, okay, right behind me. I spoke too soon. They have the van, then they have the truck with the kids and the dancers on the back.
With all the dancers on them, yep.
No, they got 2 trucks with all the dancers on them.
They got lots of dancers. This looks like the smaller kids here, and maybe some of the bigger ones coming behind. Now they're rocking and rolling here.
Oh, this is all right. Okay. This is the other one, North Florida Arts and Science Academy.
All right. And they've got music playing and having fun.
You get the temperature up to 70, and I'll do that next year.
Well, you just never know year to year. It's Florida, 5 minutes or 5 miles.
Now, this is another good float here.
It is.
And I didn't make out the name. You see it, Jay?
Nah, I cannot make that out.
And it looks like is that a Duncan booth? I'm not sure exactly what that is on back, but it's all lit up.
It's an organ.
An organ, okay. Well,
Farmers Home Furniture. Maybe that's theirs. That's a possibility.
Okay. I still don't know what it is exactly, but it's a nice float.
That's an organ. You
Well,
can't
that's
see
Great
it.
job, guys.
It's well decorated, well lit.
Nobody was playing the organ.
Well, it's a make-believe organ.
Oh, I see. Okay. Jesus Christ is Lord, and that is the reason for the season. And we have a bus coming here after a couple of golf carts. We've got a lighted bus. Here to guess?
Yeah, this is Bible Baptist Church.
You waited till you could read it.
Yeah, I've done a few plaques for Bible Baptist Church.
Bible Baptist Church got the bus all lit up.
Those are reindeer and the lights there, Wayne. They're not llamas.
Okay.
Okay, and they're not alive.
These are reindeer. These are like I saw an alpaca move his head. I did. This is Lafayette State Bank passing by us now.
That's where
And
you
they're
and I
float-
bank.
Yeah, I do. I'm First Federal. I have a account at both.
Yeah, well, so do I.
The business is at Lafayette, and I've got the personal at First Federal. So try to spread it around. Both of them have been good to me. I don't have a lot of money, and they're still nice to me. So how about that? Our parade coverage being brought to you by Suwannee County Economic Development Office and by First Federal Savings Bank of Florida. We'd also like to thank North Florida Printing Company. Greet those guys joining us tonight. Also, J&W Automotive. They're, I don't care what you got wrong with the car. That's the place to go if you need another car, or if you need paint and body work done, or if they do it all. Get the keys made.
And you're talking about Hal's. They've been around forever also.
Yes,
I'm
they have.
sure that's like they've been here for probably 60, 70 years.
Yeah, appreciate Coy and the bunch there, and Jeff and the bunch at J&W. Also, Rapid Fiber Internet, Papa John's Pizza, Beef O'Brady's, and the UPS store of Live Oak. And this is the 4-H coming here. So that was FFA before. I'm staying with that. They've got music playing. Pulled by a tractor.
This is the North Florida Equestrian Team 4-H Club chapter.
All right. The equestrian team.
That's
Why aren't they riding
big,
horses?
That's a big name for horses.
Actually, they do have horses if you look close on their float. They got little horse heads. Yeah. Very nice touch.
Ooh, the truck is dark, but the float is light.
The float is all lit up. Merry Christmas, it says on the side. And they're tossing candy out. Candy in the streets of Live Oak.
We got to figure out how that tradition started. I should know, but I don't.
Because people had the candy left over from Halloween. So they needed to.
Had to get rid of it somehow.
There you go.
Oh, here now.
Now they always do a great job.
Now, is one of our sponsors related to them?
Yeah, well, Rapid Fiber Internet is they're separate companies, but they work with the lines of Swanee Valley, and they have an office inside Swanee Valley. So, and I went to them. I switched over and went to their service, and they're excellent.
I tried to switch over, and they told me they won't have me ready my area of the county until August. But I can tell you they're real high on my list.
Yeah, well, they cut my bill in half, and the service is wonderful. So,
yeah, that's what I've heard.
This is Swanee Valley Electric Co-op coming by, and they always go all out on their float. Look at this thing, and they even got the water tower.
And a little miniature bucket truck on by.
Yeah, that's Old City Hall there. That part there with the clock
in the front, yeah.
Yeah, that's on the corner of Duval and 90. That's the old City Hall, and that's the old water tower.
That's awesome, man. What a great job they did. And then the miniature bucket truck followed by the actual truck.
Yeah, the big bucket.
And then they'll be followed by Rapid Fiber. And one of their trucks all lit up. And we sure appreciate Rapid Fiber. They bought an annual subscription, so sponsored football and then sponsoring everything through the year. So we appreciate them stepping up and helping to bring pictures to the folks.
I've heard nothing but good things about them, and that's why I inquired about getting them. And,
Well, if I had a problem, I'd be happy to tell you, but so far, so good. They've been wonderful for me.
Everybody I've talked to likes them.
Yeah, well, Windstream was the company, and then they, cut out the local service. And it's just, what are you going to do?
Well, the end of the parade is here.
Well, I see.
Are those alpacas or horses?
No, those are horses.
But they're moving their heads. I saw them move their heads.
They are alive.
These are actual horses.
And they are alive.
Okay, thank you.
They are alive.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Tom makes me question my sanity from time to time.
Actually, those are ponies.
Okay.
And these are ponies.
Yeah.
That's a golf cart.
Yeah, thank you for that. With some pretty cool characters on top of that.
Now, this will be the sheriff's, out there, Boys Ranch. Sheriff's Boys Ranch usually has a bunch of people on horses.
Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches, and they do they got a new rodeo arena out there that's fantastic. Covered arena.
We need to cover that on River Country Sports there. We need to go do a rodeo sometime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and one of those WWE wrestling matches. I did one of those too on the radio.
We were talking about that yesterday with Kicking Kevin. Here comes Santa Claus. So this is the end of the parade.
I thought you were going to finish the song.
No,
here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
Kicking Kevin and Thaddeus Bullard became Titus O'Neil, and they were doing a stunt for wrestling. And Thaddeus said it's set up ahead of time. He says, "You come up and push me, and then I'm going to push back." And so Kevin pushes him, and you know how big Kevin is. He's about 5'1", maybe. And Thaddeus, pretty big guy, or Titus, pretty big guy. And Titus reaches around and slaps him, and I mean about knocks him down. Kevin was thinking it was fake, and that wasn't fake.
Well, you mentioned Titus O'Neil here, Thaddeus Bullard, and he was a rancher. And the ranch, just went by. So great segue there, Wayne. How'd you even know that?
I'm on top of these things. And I hope you've enjoyed our parade. We're going to be back to wrap up our parade coverage after we take this time out. RiverCountrySports.com.
The soul of Swanee isn't just a feeling. It's embodied in nature. It's found in unfiltered perfection, where beauty abounds in its most simplistic form. Experience it in the abundance of towering trees and lush flora that awakens the quieted peace of your body. Touch it in the gemstone-colored springs that tingle your senses and restores vitality. Explore it in flourishing underwater caves that spark curiosity and a sense of wonder. Absorb it in the fresh air and starry nights that enlighten your mind with clarity. There's no fluff, no crowds, and no lines. Just you and beautiful, unfiltered nature, with maybe a few surprises along the way. Come discover the life you never knew you were missing in Suwannee County, Florida. Learn more at www.visitswanee.com.
First Federal Bank is your partner in helping your business grow and assist with financial overhead. With person-to-person customer support, top-of-the-line banking services, and digital tools, your money is never out of reach and always safe. For over 60 years, we've been financing community businesses and partnering with growing franchises to provide stability and expansion opportunities. Bank with real people so you can focus on running your business.
All right, hey Bulldog fans, when you're hungry, we can satisfy that appetite at Beef O'Brady's of Live Oak. Come dine with us during, before, or after the ball game. We feature big screen TVs, so you won't miss any of the big events. At Beef O'Brady's, check out our game room featuring pool tables and games for the kids. Stop by Beef O'Brady's for some good food, good sports, and good games.
Rapid Fiber Internet's locally owned and operated, powered by Suwannee Valley Electric Co-op. Our local employees are dedicated to providing a world-class customer experience to each of our Suwannee Valley Electric members. Make the switch today to Rapid Fiber Internet's 100% fiber to the home internet system. To learn more about Rapid Fiber Internet, visit rapid-fiber.com. Again, that's rapid-fiber.com or call 866-64-RAPID.
And back here to wrap up our coverage of the Lighted Christmas Parade. And I guess if we learned anything this year, it was that we need more lights.
Yeah.
Well, that's debatable because the lights, they would have been able to see our faces a little bit more, and that might have taken away from Christmas just a little bit. It was better that they had the parade to watch with all the pretty queens and princesses.
If we could get the lights fixed on the street, we would have had plenty of lights, but the street lights are out. So, yeah.
That's CBS's lights up there.
Well, they need to put them on.
Next year we'll go.
It seems dark out here. Is it me?
Well, that's what happens in the, we're just days away from the winter solstice.
Okay.
Actually, I think 2 weeks.
The 21st, I think, is official first day of winter.
Yeah, which will be the longest night of the year. So that's what happens. It gets dark. And Wayne, what is that little dot up there?
What is it?
Yeah.
A star?
That's not
Venus?
There you go.
Could be Venus.
See?
Yeah. You're going to give us an astrology lesson here?
I'm just trying to get you out of the office. I want you to think outside the box a little bit, okay?
Thank you, Tom. That's why you're a part of this. I mean, the wealth of knowledge that this man possesses.
Well, if you live on
he
this
forgets
earth,
nothing.
Yeah,
I have learned a lot about Live Oak history.
There you go.
Well, if you live long enough, you'll learn something.
Okay, good enough.
So you keep that in mind.
Well, thanks, Tom, for coming by and donating your time. We sure appreciate it in all seriousness.
Well, next year, hopefully I'll be here. And like the judges, maybe you can have a little goodie bag with maybe some fried chicken or hamburger. I don't care about the chocolate, okay?
I see.
The Diet Coke, and we'll be ready to go, buddy.
All right. Clifford, you listening?
Hey, Clifford, if Clifford was here, Hardee's would be here. We'd be eating biscuits or sliders or something.
He always took care of us when he was leading the quarterback club.
Absolutely.
He and Jim Daniels always took care of us. Yeah, that is true.
And that's why we say good things about them.
We'll work for food. Tom, thank you. And also, thank you, Jay. Appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure. An absolute pleasure. And next year, I'll bring the hot chocolate and the Hardee's.
That'll work.
There you go. All right. Good deal. Want to thank our parade sponsors. Our broadcast was brought to you by the Suwannee County Economic Development Office and by First Federal Savings Bank of Florida. Our broadcast also sponsored in part by North Florida Printing Company, J&W Automotive, Rapid Fiber Internet, Papa John's Pizza, Beef O'Brady's, and the UPS store of Live Oak. Your parade announcers tonight, I'm Wayne Litrell. He's Tom Daniels, along with Jay Howe on the other side. We appreciate Brandon Furner who stopped by and talked to us. Also, Mayor Frank Davis. Thanks to everybody that came by and was part of our parade broadcast. Our camera operators tonight, Dusty Morgan, Sawyer Brooks, and Lucy Roberts. Our streaming producer, Rivers Martinez, and our production manager, Clifford Gwynn. We hope you've enjoyed watching and listening to our Christmas on the Square coverage. That's going to wrap up the 40th edition. Can you believe it? Of Christmas on the Square.
40
And
years.
it's amazing.
Years.
And thank River County Sports for doing it.
River Country Sports?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it right.
RiverCountrySports.com.
Well, I got it right on the back of my press pass.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Swanee.